there. So you need that, and we're back, I think. Her head's a little weird. This one, not hers. Yeah. Alright, yeah, so we're gonna try and finish up this sketch from yesterday. If we don't, by some chance, I will complete it on my own, and we'll start the painting next stream. Just making plans, I guess. Though plans always have a chance of a tendency to go askew. That's that one. Alright. I did touch up a little bit of it on my own after the stream. It really is kind of fascinating how you can get just a different feel for things once you're step away from a project for a bit. For instance, like this shirt here, on some of the arms, or things that parts of the arms were what I focused on last time. Alright, so, and she's got her little shirt tufts. I don't quite, okay, so it's just these weird shirt bands. I'm not quite sure. A simple little sketch. Okay, so we start right here. Here. And I'm not quite sure what you would call this stuff. They're little design choices, but they are kind of unique and a little bit towards her. And these tend to focus back in and then branch and spread out. Okay. And then 2 more lines. We got 1, 2, 3 bands. 1, 2. This one tends to go up right about there, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Right. Like that. Not quite sure how it holds up, but oh right, I've got the see little that part I've got to worry about too. The actual, did it go over all of them? No, just 2 of them. Okay. Alright, see a little color aspect here. That part goes over those, so I have to redo it on the other side as well. I think actually flare out a little bit more. It doesn't look quite right. Looks odd. Don't quite know why. Because from the looks of the picture, just a couple of wraps, but I don't know. maybe I can figure it out on the next one. Alright, let's try it over here. It starts about here. And goes up and over like that. And then they do a harsh turn around onto the other side. And from there, go up and around. And again, yeah. Harsh turn around. Well, maybe this part needs to be a lot thinner. That's maybe what it is. These are a lot closer together than it originally. We'll see. Let's see. Let's try that out. Just get them really close to down here. They spread out so. That looks a little better. A little wonky too. Ah, that's what it is. Okay. Oh, maybe this is what it is. They needed a little bit more slant to them. Alright, let's go. Okay, so, that's that. It's fascinating working on, abnormal concept like these sleeves. It's not something I normally would have put any thought into, or something I would have thought of, but yet here they are. Here I am for doing it. Alright, so, replicate on the other side. Alright, there we are. Okay, since that's okay for the chest, that's working. And she's got a collar. I've got a secondary reference I'm working from as well. Get some steam. Alright, there you are. And there you are. Lumen symbol. Alright. Not the best, but it's small scale, so it'll work itself out. Okay. Focusing on different details. It's fascinating. Still need to work on the arms. I'll come back to those. It's elbows. Elbows are what I always have trouble with. But actually she's got gloves that cover those up, so maybe. Alright, she also got a bow, big old red bow right here. But it seems to kind of just stick there. Let's give it a slight tilt up, since she is technically upside down. At least in this sketch I've got here. shorter. Alright, and this one goes up and over here. And hits about there, I think. And looks like this one a bit bigger. A little bit bigger because it is on this side, and we're facing this bit. Our chest is a little bit turned, and this needs to be rounded a little bit more because it's not quite like that. Alright. Alright. I'm gonna go from here and I'll curve it up. Again, she's upside down, but her bow seems to be pretty solid. Not quite as floppy as I'd first take it. Alright. One of the other things about like sketching and artwork that does seem a little bit fascinating to me was a cue up at the center there. Is how you put so much detail into things and then you just cover them up. And that's perfectly normal. Because that's just the way things are. We do that in everyday life too. Like here, I've got like all the musculature here sketched in for the arms. I covered them all up with the shirt. Now I'm cleaning up some of these edges here. A bit harder to see, but they are what they are. That. I think this one here was just a placeholder sketch. But yeah, you draw things, cover them up, and like some of the most intricate details don't actually ever see the light of day. All right, but that's okay. It's the framework. It's meant to be there if we need it, and near the end we just didn't happen to need it right then and there. But we did need it for the previous steps, which helps out a great deal. Alright, so she's got you. And I'm not quite sure how I'm going to pull off the skirt. It's going to be a interesting take. Okay, so this curves up and around. Alright, like that. And I think go that line. Alright, that's a bit better. Now the legs, focus on them a bit. Alright. I think actually, because I needed to shorten them up because of the odd abdomen length I had before. And then here we got the crook of the hip that goes right into the change it up just a little bit like that, and that's not quite right. Alright. Hmm. Well, I'm not trying to be exact, trying to get it to look good. Oh, that is one other thing I did realize. I was trying really hard and I fell into the pitfall again of trying to get it all perfect, as opposed to working and getting it completed. So that's what I'll be trying to focus and shift the focus to. Getting it complete. Doesn't have to be perfect, but get it close enough and that should work out. She does have boots, but they Alright, so yay. Thorian. That does look like they have it. I've got it. A bit further down. Okay. Now, I'm not working from a reference here. I can tell. I've got a couple of references elsewhere around here. See if I can. Maybe. References are hard because I need a bent inside view of the left leg, which it's a bit more. Maybe that'll work. Give me a sec. I'm also using this as a chance to learn, chance to pick up a few more tips and just little noticing things. Because being observant and being able to notice are two of the well, it's the same thing, but they're very important. They are what you use to improve your skills. If you can't observe and you don't notice things, you won't improve. So I'm trying to do that. Even in little ways, it does help. I'm getting a bit more familiar with the material and the artwork and such. Alright, and then her boot here. I don't. Her boot. Because she's got just the front and the boot kind of looks. Just kind of like that. It looks just kind of a quick little sketch, but I need it upside down and around. And I'd imagine any clear shot I've got of Sailor Moon's boots from below would be just like a quick traversal frame or something like that. So it does look like it's a bit flat on this end. I am looking at. I sketch it over here just so I have a quick reference. That might be right. have the heel, the back portion, not the bottom, but the back that always gives an odd look. Alright. Alright, so that's what the shoe should basically look like. Alright, so now flip it upside down and figure out what that looks like. So this one, what does a shoe look like? Just really, what does a shoe look like? Because I can't quite just pull this one out from the shoe rack over there. So roughly what a foot would look like. Now shift it over. Yeah. I just did the same thing. That would be her. You know what? Take up my own foot time. You have to look at the bottom of your own foot. That's quite difficult. Give me a second here. I looked at the shoe, so. Like that, I guess. Maybe a little bit wider to fit it in a bit better. I think it's close enough. Maybe a bit further ahead. There we go, that's more position-wise. Let's go with that. I think I might try and find just a shoe reference and get a better view of it that way. But that's actually not too bad. I'd like to give it more substance, but I can't quite tell right now. Okay, so clean up the lines they don't need. Not anymore. Alright, so that up. Let's get that. The false shoe. There we are. Okay, so I need to focus on it. That's not quite right. That's not quite right. This should be like that, and I think that more like that. I think. It was too flat. Just too much of a straight line. Bodies don't have many straight lines, if at all. I wonder if there actually is just a straight line in the body somewhere, and not just some curved spot. not quite sure what needs a touch up. Okay. And then we got here, and back up. Okay, so we do need the other knee, so... Alright, give me a sec. There we are. Pulling up a reference here. Horizontal slit, there we are. It's kind of like just amazing how many differences subtle little details can do. Alright, so that one, yeah, go back to main reference. Alright, so that would be, I think, like that would be the, that one gives a slight difference. Okay, so she does have very slender legs. I think I've been drawing them a little too wide. But she does have very smooth lines here, so let's... okay, time to clean up these old ones. I'm done enough having the old reference there. I think I can move on. You need a slightly different line. There we are. Okay, so I should clean this up, Not as distracting. Alright, I think we're getting into it. Alright, so these don't really need to be erased, but less distractions the better. Okay. Within reason. Alright, so this one. Alright, let's go with like about there. That's a very, very short leg there. Not quite perfect. Let's just deal with it. I could perhaps move the foot back out, but we'll come back to it. Alright, so we've got you. And this time we actually do need the shoe. Give me a sec. There we are, that might help. Okay. Alright. Reference. I don't know what it is, but shoes are weird. They're hard to get right. But that's one of the things we're doing here. We're learning. Okay, now I do have this as a wrong angle. How do I fix that? You've got Actually, you know what? Let's go with a slight wrinkle here. Okay, and let's give it a slight pointedness. Alright, because we want it a bit more bent, not just kind of sitting there, but posed a little bit. Alright, so. Okay, so I also. See, this is where. I see examples of my brain. The brain shifting things to fit where they think it should be, as opposed to where maybe you can help pulling up some other references. Because in the I've got like 6 tabs open here. Let's bring that a bit more into the focus, I guess. Because at the moment I'm using this reference here. Cameras are so weird. That reference and her foot. I gotta go. Her foot that I'm kind of referencing, the one just right there in the corner. It's viewed up from an upwards angle down. This one we're viewing kind of more at the straight on angle. So it's a little odd to have it at this angle because we've got like her hip here, which is pretty much on the side with maybe a slight tilt to it, and then we have a significant tilt on the foot. It gives a odd sense of something's wrong. So what's up? And since it's a shoe and not a foot, I gotta make it look like a shoe somehow. And that's not working, that's not helping. Shoes. What's gotta be shoes? Boots if you'd rather go that way. Alright, so okay, so honestly, I think this needs to come up some. Because her legs are. Well, let's just sketch it out. X-ray vision goes all the way through. For instance, we've got the top of the boot here, and then it goes like that. That would be the rough equivalent for the boot is. So that's what it is. This bit here needs to point out and come around the leg, not just there. That'll give it a little bit more depth. think that might be one of my issues. Does help. Hello, hey, hello there, fam. Welcome. Made it to a stream. Cool. I'm drawing Sailor Moon currently, and then I will eventually be putting this onto a canvas and painting it because we're gonna give it a shot. I am not affiliated with Sailor Moon. I've never actually quite seen the show. You know the deal. You're talking on Discord. Sound is very soft. Probably because I'm not really facing the microphone, hunched over here, drawing on things, and the microphone's over there. But I tend to be very quiet naturally, which is kind of weird considering I'm now doing streaming. I think those wouldn't quite work out, but do. Thank you. It's for pointing that out. I don't have a real reference for how things right? Maybe your headphones are what's quiet, not me. It's all you. No, it's likely me. Just sitting here mumbling to myself while doodling a little sketch. But yeah, this little experiment here, I think is a reason why you draw things out, even if you don't quite see where things line up, see it all. It's very nice to have it all in place so you can conceptualize it a lot better. Like that. I think you actually go a bit. Yeah, let's just like that. Maybe. No, you're watching other streams. How am I doing? I'm doing all right, fine. Nothing really overly new. Other than the bear that's been around the place. Yeah, we've got a bear pest problem. It's been running through past couple of days grabbing chicken feed. Luckily enough, it's just the chicken feed and not the chickens themselves, but it's I don't think it'll be too much of an issue. I think it's a younger bear trying to like scrounge around for food. It's not horrible. We've had some bears before. We actually have a neighbor. Yeah, the one over there. Her son comes here and feeds and baits. I think it is the bears. Might be other animals as well, but they bait the bears to hunt them or something. Poor chicken's getting the food, so luckily it's just the food, and we have plenty of it now. Enough of it to last them, and they're fine without it. Yeah, the chickens we've got are mostly open range. We just like have a coop for them to go into at night, shelter and predators protection. But this leg is too long. And other than that, they tend to just kind of just wander around the yard, eating bugs, grass, plants, what have you. And it's actually kind of fascinating watching them just roam around. Yeah, I've got a an ex-coworker who I'm still on good terms with, but the other day I was helping him out with some computer issues. And we got to talking about chickens and such. Apparently he had some as well. He liked he owned some property and wanted someone. He moved over here, but they needed the inner city internet functions for his wife to work from. But anyway, I'm getting distracted. But he used to have chickens and raised them a bit, and he called it Chicken Vision. Well, you can just like sit down and watch chickens just being chickens. You'll sit down and watch, and like that one over there is just strutting over here and cluck, cluck, cluck. Oh, picks up some stuff, and the rooster calls the other hens over. Hey, look, I found a bug or something. And they all waddle over and look at him, and then just kind of just meander. And it really is kind of strangely mesmerizing to just watch chickens be. Well, yeah, if I can show you like a video of it, record some and upload it on the stream or something. But yeah, currently the one I focus on a bit is our mama hen. We had a batch of. Give me a sec. I don't like shoes. We had the mama hen not too long ago. Hatch out some chicks. They're getting actually pretty big here. My dad considers them teenagers. At the moment, I think. But yeah, she just sits there with 13 kids. Just take a moment to think about that. 13 little kids that don't talk. That just kind of do whatever they want. And she manages to wrangle them around and just keep them in line. It's kind of cool. But yeah, you can like notice her, and then just this big old like swarm of chicks following her and just kind of going around wherever. She walks somewhere else, and like little stragglers, oh, peep, 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 don't forget me. And they just run over and chase her, and all this kind of silly little. And you just sit there and watch them. Like one of them will run over here and find a bug, and then oh, what do you got? I want that, and then steal, and then try and like fight over the little bug or something. It's kind of an interesting little experience. I can describe it and I can tell you it, but unless you actually sit here and watch it, there's something different about it. But yeah, it can be very relaxing. And just taking that little bit of time to out of your day and just sit down and just observe life as it is. Come on, Shu, why are you so difficult? I don't get feet. I don't get shoes. Let's try that route. I'm gonna do something stupid. This is her right foot. That might be why I've got the wrong foot. I'm trying to draw. A little bit more. Okay, there is a foot, and I'll put a shoe on top of it. I'll call it good. That worked for some reason. Apparently I can't draw a shoe, but I can draw a foot and then put a shoe on top of it. I don't quite know how it works. Oh yeah, and it's a healed one. a heel shoe. Which means this foot can't be flat, it's got to be pointed. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. And it would still be pointed here. So because it's a heel, this would have to be flexed and like this. Sorry, I'm just trying to give it a bit of a flexed here, and then put a step next to it, I think. We'll go with that. We'll go with that. But yeah, it's just kind of, again, just odd, strange little things that getting something to work for you. I think I need a little bit more of a point. Yeah. It's the wrong perspective. I'll leave that alone for now. It's just the strangest things that you can get caught up on. Sorry, but arranging breakfast, I have to do that after the stream. I don't quite have enough time to do it before stream, and so things work out. Not enough sleep, that's how the world works currently. But yeah, that's how we function. We don't have to be, though, which is the real strange thing. Yeah, I've seen a few YouTube videos and stuff, like people have like done a bit of like research on the subject, and it looks like overworking, like our current modern society is currently, is actually not all that beneficial. It's not really the effective way of working, which when you actually look at it makes a lot of sense. Like working somebody and the entire group of people, productivity with breaks is better. Yeah, it just is. But one of the videos I was talking about was it won't change until you change it. You prove it from an economic standpoint. When if you can prove to the business people that working people into the ground and then keep running them isn't as effective as giving them breaks. This is my break. Glad I could be a source of relaxation for you, somewhat. Maybe I should try and like film some of those chickens to just give you an example of chicken vision. It'd be a cute little thing to watch. I wonder how big of a video I can upload on Discord. Maybe I'll do it on YouTube or something. Alright. Anyway, my next trick of not understanding how clothes work, I'm going to try and draw a skirt upside down in a weird position without it being considered odd. Maybe. We'll see, we'll see. That's a doctor's appointment. Sleep's good. And anxiety. Well, yes. I think one of the biggest things is just trying to get sleep. Easier said than done, I know. But I found when I get like really worked up and anxious, it's like, okay, take a step back, try and focus a bit more on sleep. Less so like hobbies and stuff. I've like I've decided to like put down some of the stuff on like my days off. I like, you know what? I'm gonna catch up on my sleep. I'm just gonna take a nap and try and recover a bit. And it does a world of difference. It's really subtle, but it's a noticeable difference if you're paying attention to it. Alright, so you know what? Let's go with she's got Oh, you stopped sleeping? Well, let's work on that one. What are you angsty about? What's keeping you awake? Because honestly, one of the other things I've noticed is you will always have something anxious, something to worry about. That's what your brain does. It sits there and worries for you. But you don't need to be like that. There's things that you can just you don't have to think about them as much. 8 hours of it. Oh, I think I think part of that might be I've never quite had that. I have the weird. It's just an odd tangent, but one of the things I have is like if I try to go to sleep like really early, like let's say my normal bedtime is 9. It's vague, but I try and go to bed at 7. I'll wake up like an hour later. It's like no matter how much I try, I'll just wake up early. If I go to sleep early, then I can't go back to bed, and then I'm stuck trying to figure out what to do to get back to sleep. And issue way of resolving them. One of the biggest ones to help resolve issues, at least that I found, is write them down. You got an issue, just sit there and write them down. It's like, and when you realize you're like so anxious and worrying and about things, like it's a big problem. It's a big problem. It's like, okay, let's write down. 1, can't sleep. 2, I'm anxious. 3, and like you realize a lot of the problems you have, you tend to blow out of proportion, and when you have it all in your head, it tends to just sit there and get into a feedback loop. And one of the most not calming but like realizing moments is what I did when I was like in my depression. I wrote down like all the problems I had and just wrote down all the things I was trying to think of, all the horrible worst case scenarios I was thinking of, and wrote them down, and I had like 4 or 5, and that was it. That was all of them. And then the next step was, what is the worst that could come of it? At the time I was like, I didn't have a job, didn't have a car, didn't have any of this stuff. Well, it was, I didn't have a job. Well, the solution, get a job. Go out and apply for one. That's all I would need to do to fix that. I don't have a car, get a job, get some money, buy a car. And like once you start like writing it down, because it's really hard to explain, but what you have in your head and what you have written down are like 2 separate trains of thought, 2 functions of how things work. And if you can write down what you're worrying about and then actually see it as it is, as opposed to what you imagine it to be, it kind of shifts your view of how things go. And one of the other ones is there was I think there was a video I saw a while back about a guy, Fearscaping, I think was the name of it, where he had like a 3-step process that was similar to what I ran into, but he had a third one, that third option that I didn't consider. You write down the problem, you write down a simple solution for it, and then you write a worst case scenario and how you'll be okay after it. It's alright. Well, did you do them properly? That's the question. But yeah, it's part of it. And so just realizing some of the things. One of the other ones is what I've done a bit when I get like overworked or overburdened rather with the things I'm trying to do. You've seen it happen on stream. A while back I was trying to do like 3 games at once, and then the Twitch stream on Sunday, and so I just kept shifting priorities. I didn't really get any single thing done, and I was stressing trying to remember what's going up, what's going on. So one thing I would consider that would help, it did help me a bit, focus on one thing at a time. Try and like let your other projects aside, if they're able to be set aside, and just focus on one thing and try and get that completed. Once you get that completed, then you can work on another one. You can have background ones to shift to if like you get stuck or frustrated or something, but try and focus on one thing at a time and then shift to the next one. And that's when things kind of go a bit smoother, because like right now I'm working on this one sketch here, and it's just affiliate. Congratulations! Now you can actually make money doing stuff. Hey! Fair warning, it's a slow process. But yeah, it's just, honestly, I don't quite know where else I would know the term affiliate would apply. It's, yeah, is there? I know it's like a business term, but I've never heard it elsewhere other than Twitch and maybe like big old business meetings or something. Okay, give me a second. I just noticed. And it's. Alright, I guess it doesn't really matter on here. Alright, I guess another place. One of the other ones is you get like slightly bit more priority over a non-affiliate kind of guy. So it helps. You have some other things that'll bump you up on the stream and such. And you also get like, I think you get like emotes you can work with once you get there, and you can work on all the other achievements and things like that. Alright, but it's honestly just good news all around when you reach that milestone. I remember trying to work at it and like you guys helped me along. I straight up would not have hit it without you guys. Yeah, I think my biggest hurdle was the viewer count. I think I had the days, the time, the hours, and then there was viewer count and average view. I can't remember. There were 4 metrics, and I had like 3 of them really easy, but then the 4th one was consistent viewers. I think was my biggest hurdle. That I was having difficulty registering with. A 3 average, yeah, it's just silly number. One of the weirdest things is like affiliate is just get 3 of them and you can get the affiliate. Okay, you got that, yay! Now I get 75. It's like, what? Yes, I don't plan on getting partnership like anytime soon. It's like at this point, if you're trying to get partnership, you'll have to like really work at it, or just go naturally like I'm doing, and slowly build up your viewer base or whatnot, and kind of just go about it. For partnership, I feel it's like you're either focused on it really hard or not at all. Yeah, I would not suggest it, especially with your angst or anxiety issues at the moment. Worrying about that will probably help with that right now. Alright, so give it a sec. Civil live stream and technicals. Yeah, same here. I think one of the things I could never, yeah, my biggest problem with my stream is I don't know who I am. A side hobby, yeah, it's a starting 3 month course. Oh, a 3 month course on what, if I may ask? What are you working on? But yeah, it's the biggest thing I have on Twitch I'm trying to work on is who am I? What is my channel about? I'm still floundering and figuring that out, but because all the tutorials and stuff on how to make a big stream, how to make it do whatever, is know your identity, know your brand, yada yada. And I don't happen to have that. I am simply me. It's really hard for me to quantify me as a brand. But yeah, and so as such, I've always struggled with internet identity, not necessarily what's my name type of thing. Being busy on sustainability questions. You want to know the answer to that? Just blanked on the word. Consistency. Business sustainability questions for companies. And I gotta navigate those, and we're starting up a business that does things with sustainability. Like personal business sustainability, or like sustainability for working somebody else to help work with that. Because if it's a sustainability for your own startup business, I personally don't have much experience with that other than this stream here. I'm working at it, but it does come down to climate and all that. All right. Oh, the climate. Okay, I was looking at Oh, right. Okay. Economic business standpoint, not climate sustainability. Okay, that's. I don't quite have much experience with that one. I just noticed there's this weird thing on the picture in the reference. Somewhere right here. It's, if I could just like point to it, it's like right here. Right next to her ear, under her earring, is a weird little just mark. I don't know why. Sorry. Rock. Weird tangent. Oh, cool. Being hyped for something is very important. It's what keeps you interested. It's what keeps us human a bit. And hyped and passion and whatnot does heart good. It does help alleviate anxiety quite a bit, which is pretty nice. So hopefully that works out for you. But yeah, climate sustainability, that's another matter. Green energy type stuff. Wind power is not an effective means for it. My dad has done a lot of research trying to do it himself. Happy that works for you. I was going on down the train of thought and you just like lost me. I was talking about Sailor Moon, earrings, and climate change. I just had a total absolute brain wipe at the moment. Just work on a thing. But my dad worked on green energy, trying to get off the grid power type stuff. Looked into potential wind things. Wind is problematic because it has to have a consistent speed. If it's too high, you'll blow out the motor. If it's too low, you won't get any energy. And since wind is whatever it happens to be, it's more of a sideline passive power source as opposed to a mainline one. Right, hello. Fairly new and still developing. Honestly, I think one of the most promising ones is probably geothermal energy, because that's a source that is planet size and like won't go away unless the entire planet goes out. So I'd be interested in that aspect as a sustainable, because it's always there. Don't hear my audio? Like me or the music? You're the second person to say that, but I've got maximum volume on there. Oh, maybe it's because I'm just like, here, let's shift a bit closer to the microphone. Yep, let's go. That might be a little better. Of course, I am also naturally quiet, so we'll see. Alright, so I think this is here underneath, so and this is really weird. I'm like covering up everything I worked to painstakingly draw, and here it is, just taken up, removed. But yeah, it's I'm probably just really quiet. Fixed. Hello. All right, it's on your end. It's all you guys that are weird. It's not me. It's all you. I'm not the one who's crazy. The world is crazy. Or something like that. Yeah, there we are. Social stuff and things like fashion, because that's more of my jam. Well then, go do that. Cosplay and things like that. And yeah, the fashion can be interesting, but I don't like modern fashion, or whatever that is. Alright, lunch, breakfast. Cool. We'll be here for a bit. I'm not really going anywhere. Right, let's see if I can get the other bits here. Okay, so I think you are there, you are there, and I think you fold around like that. Alright. What specifically is bad for it? I'm unfamiliar with that, other than potentially some like odd plastics, or is it the dye? That's problematic for it. How's the moon coming out? Not too bad. Oh yeah, give me a sec. I'll give you a little update on here. Find the camera. That should be good enough. There's a whole time. But yeah, here is the Sailor Moon at the moment. Currently looking with the handstand stuff. It's work in progress. Still getting there. And then the feet. I can't do it. Tripod's in the way. But it's looking okay. It's looking okay for the Sailor Moon. But yeah, it's just, dig it. Cool. It's almost there. I'm not quite sure how I'll handle the hair. Because the end of the post, the paper is here, and I should have had this a little bit further down. Yeah, it's should technically look like this. When it's all said and done, roughly. But it's a lot easier to draw it right side up, because then you don't have to do the double brain flip thing. Alright, so let's work with the elbows, the gloves, I guess. I'm not gonna get the hands done because maybe I don't think it'll fit. Alright, so we've got more of these weird little circle ring thingies. And let's put them out here. But yeah, it's coming along okay. It's actually doing okay. But like her hair, I could have the hair is magic and have it go against gravity. I don't think that would work out. So it'd have to be more this way towards the floor. But would I just sit there and like put it in a pile? Well, that makes sense, I guess. Yeah, we'll figure it out. I get the feeling to finish this I'll have to like do something like this, like tape the paper and make it go a bit further. But until that point, we'll move you down here a little too far up. There we are. A bit more even. And after this is when we'll put it all up on the canvas. That'll be something different. It won't be too hard. Yeah, I've done stuff like that before for sewing patterns. Mass consumption of fashion. Okay, yeah, I was wondering what specifically you were talking about, but I think part of that is not necessarily just fashion, but the consumer mindset as well. But yeah, I can see where that goes. And fashion is weird. It's fashion in the sense of like, hey, that's a cool outfit, like Sailor Moon here, for instance, or like Edgeworth down there with his weird necktie thing. I can't remember what those are called. But yeah, it's like fashion in that sense of interesting designs that are pretty cool. That one is easy enough to get along with. Yeah, modern economic slavery. Yeah, I know that kind of thing. But it's a weird subject. But yeah, when it starts getting to like the modern fashion isn't everything about clothing. Well, honestly, clothing is one things I know of that is reused to hell and back. Maybe not the high-end like evening gown dresses and shit, but at least here in America, we have thrift stores across the nation. We have yard sales where people give out their old clothes all the time. That stuff is reused everywhere I go. I could go into any town, any city, and find a used clothes store that people have. So in that aspect, just like normal use, it gets reused. But I do realize that there's just an overabundance of new stuff coming out. Primarks? What are those? I'm unfamiliar with that one. But yeah, it's everything about clothing. Well, I am a dude, so my knowledge of clothing is stunted. Not quite dumb. Oh, there. You'll have to explain a bit for me. But yeah, it's as I understand it, it's probably the. Oh, that's yeah. Okay, Dirt cheap clothing of poor quality. Yeah. That stuff is out there. Trying to think of something that's most I know is like weird T-shirts or like Walmart type brand things. Do you know nothing about this stream? Distractions are kind of like expected at this point, so you don't have to worry about distracting the stream. Hell, I think I've had a few streams where I start a project, we start talking about something, and then I get like 5 minutes worth of work done before the end of the stream. It's completely okay. That's odd. I don't quite like that. Oh, let's tuck it in and cheat. Let's go that way. But yeah, it's just the mass production of cheap things. I think, honestly, I think the biggest. Give me a sec. Better. On the topic of like poor quality things, I think you might be referring to things like Wish, or basically China. China and India, I believe, are the two biggest providers of just about anything in the world. And they also work with like slave labor and just lowest bidder quality. And businesses work off that because it's the cheapest option there and people pay for it. 3 bands on them. And honestly, to makers and climate. Well, yeah, if you want to change the world in a way like that, almost all brands produced in India, okay? If you want to make a difference, to get companies or things like that to produce things naturally or environmentally friendly, the way to do it would be to attack the economic viability of it, not the emotional attachment to environment and whatnot. Because as a business, when it comes down to it, you boil it all down. A business needs to make money. Vote with my wallet. Yeah. So, in that aspect, you gotta try and find a way to make the alternative a more economically viable option, which is a lot easier said than done. But yeah. To help out with some of that though, some good news ish. Currently America is going through a bit of a disagreement with China. We're having some political economic, it's basically a war going on right now without any actual guns. Oh, cool. Like, good on ya. I'm trying to do that in a little bit. Oh no, channel problems again. It's well, the short version is the app TikTok has security faults into it. It's collecting data and sending it to China, and so Trump issued an order to stop the to have China like reveal that or stop taking data, something like that. I'm really vague on the details. And so China's now fighting back. China is doing this, and we're basically in a behind the scenes battle with China for things. But it's the tip of the iceberg. It's the part that broke the water that everyone can see that is a lingering problem elsewhere. But yeah, I'll steer clear of some of that. But as such, America is having a lot of tariffs and embargoes, or whatever those are, with China. So now we're starting to not pay them any money and are starting to do more in-home ones that are more focused on good qualities. They're not all, because there is going to be somebody who's going to try and replicate China's cheap labor here. But there is a good amount of companies and people who try and do more healthy, environmentally and or personally healthy choices. So it's I bring it up because it's a slow shift. It's kind of a big shift, but it's also a slow one into good means. Yeah, but oddly enough, that one isn't being brought up any. Though it we're into China politics, but yeah, the mass incarceration, yeah, that was actually referenced in Disney Plus is trying to make a live action Mulan movie, and they tried to I'm blanking on words today. They tried to make the Chinese people like it. They tried to focus on the Chinese attention, but then they revealed a trailer that had a camp in it, so China straight up shut it all down. So Disney, one of China's bigger investments, is now floundering because of China's own choices, so it's slowly working things. But yeah, Amazon, yeah, that's Amazon is a problem. But again, going back to things need to be done economically. Currently, Amazon is crazy warehouses, slave labor type stuff, but they're also taking advantage of the U.S. mail system, which is now starting to be put into light and being challenged. Very sort of. It's a weird situation. It's a whole mess, but it's a situation where vote with your wallet is starting kind of to. It's a very slow, gradual process, but that stuff is starting to take hold. It's very slowly. And maybe not fast enough, but there is progress in that regard. Is the main point I'm trying to make with all of that. So it's not a hopeless endeavor. It's all right there. But give me a sec. I'm trying to clean up this line. And yeah, that would be her right hand. Is it really going to be at the tip of the paper? Alright. But yeah, it's fascinating watching some of the bigger companies now that one needs to shift over. This arm needs to shift over just a hair. Things are now shifting back into the right direction, slowly and surely. But all right, go ahead, feel free to lurk. But yeah, I think the biggest change with any of those cheapest possible product and stuff for the environment and whatnot, the biggest change is getting rid of China. If we can get China out of the picture, everything else will probably fall into place a hell of a lot better, if at all. Okay, so it's once we get the China deal done, it should help out. I think that's my hope and my belief, and I see progress shifting in that regard. Again, the world moves kind of slowly, but it is what it is. But yeah, go ahead and lurk, do your work, whatever it happens to be. I'll be here drawing Sailor Moon, talking about things. Alright. And let's see. Let's go, I guess, here. And so, yeah, that maybe not great. Another nub done on the controller, huh? It's not necessarily a smoke screen, but they are a significant cause of problems. They are not all of the problems, but they are one of the major ones. That would be a very big milestone if we could get the China industry, as what it is, sorted out, and then the other ones now have room to come back up. But yeah, it's not just China. It's China, I guess, is an enabler of it, and we are an enabler of China based off how we go about things. It's not a they are the only problem, but being able to cut off that particular problem will allow other things to happen. Yeah, I know it's not China bad, we're all perfect. Yeah, no, hell no. That's not a thing at all. But I just see it as a step that needs to be taken in order for other things to work out. Not that it is the first and last step. It's just a step along the road. The other one would be getting people to stop buying from China. The worst one about that is the Wish program. You buy $5, $2 shirts from China that are just horribly made. But yeah, I've never used it. But I've seen some. It pops up every so often, and it's just weird. Just the absolute amount of bullshit on there that people try and get. It's weird. People, hell, it's. I have experience with that from the electronics department. I work at Radio Shack, and I do the phone repair stuff. People come in with the most bizarre, crazy, unheard of in my regards. Like, I got this thing. Can you repair this? Dude, I don't even know what the hell you brought in. Where did you find this thing? I bought it online. It's just, I don't even know what the hell brand this is. Where did you get it? And it's just this, like, horribly cheap. You can't find anything for it. And it's this cheap knockoff of a knockoff that they bought. It's like, why in God's name did you decide to spend money on this thing? The only thing I can think of was it was the flat out cheapest option they could find. And they worked hard to find the absolute cheapest option they could find. And then they wonder why it breaks. It's like, spend like $2 more and you'll get a 5 times better deal. Trust me. I don't know. But it's when we can shift out of the cheapest possible thing is the best deal for you mindset, that's when a real milestone will be turned. Because yeah, one of the other ones is Walmart brands is at least in America, a very big point of they are very cheap. They have a brand called OWN. It's like ONN is the name of it. That brand is all over there, but they are horribly cheap. They've actually got wall chargers that will fry your phones a bit. They've got things that just barely work, and they expect me to repair some of the stuff. They've designed tablets that are a knockoff of an RCA tablet, which in and of itself is like a sideline brand. And people come in, can you fix this? And it's like, at first it's like, I can try, I'll see what works. You open it up and it's just a plastic case, and it's got like a board and wires connected to a screen, like glued together. Like, I'm not kidding, they have like glue in places. And it's like, this is just insanely cheap and chintzy. But people buy it and expect it to work exactly like an iPad or something, and it's like, no, That's not how it works. But yeah, sorry, I'm getting on my own personal rant here. But yeah, I have to inform people that it doesn't work. They don't work like that. Gimmicks, it's of sorts, yeah. It's not really a gimmick. I think it's straight up. This armor is weird. Armor needs to be a little bit bigger. It's not just a gimmick. It's cheap price. I can tell that just right off the bat. These people who try to find the cheapest possible option they can and just go with that. I think part of it, in a little bit of it, is that they don't have any money, so they're trying to find the cheapest possible option, because that's either one, all they can afford, or two, all they're willing to spend on it, while at the same time being like, oh yeah, no, that's the worst. But even still, if you go on like Amazon or something, I still don't know how they find those things. It's like you type in like tablet and then sort by like cheapest possible price. I guess that's probably what they do, but it's just super cheaply made. Yeah. There's a video series I watch sometimes if you want to see like really bad Amazon things. It's a guy called the Lockpicking Lawyer, and he actually does lockpicking, and he's actually a lawyer too. And yeah, this is a bad idea. Stop that. And he reviews bad locks. Yeah, no, the cheap tablets, they barely function. It's the bare minimum of something to work. I think I need to move this up. So, give me just a moment, trying to. This is being difficult on me. I can't do elbows. Elbows are a weird part of me. I can't figure out elbows. They always look weird. But those tablets, they are cheap and they barely work. And it's, honestly, straight up, the biggest thing that will change the entire world is true education of the populace. Because, oh yeah, absolutely, they're slow as all hell. But it's all these people who are uninformed, ignorant, and choose to stay so that really cause problems. It's like you're trying to explain to somebody, don't buy that, it's a piece of shit. It's like, no, you're delusional. It's fine, it works. It doesn't work, it's all your fault. But yeah, it's a crazy world. Because I've had some people who, it's one thing not to know about something or be just uninformed. You've been out of the loop. It's another thing to physically be unable to get back into the loop or at all, or like refuse to learn anything. There's just, because we have like most of the people that come into Radio Shack are the elderly. This is a bit of a retirement community, and so as such they tend not to be very technologically savvy. A lot of them recognize this and are trying like, I'm sorry, I'm just not very technological. How do I turn my phone on? Push the button here. Oh, thank you. Okay, push the button. And those people actually make an effort to try and figure out some of the basic things. And that's perfectly commendable. But then you have other people who are straight up like, this phone's a piece of shit. It won't work at all. It's what's the problem with it? It doesn't turn on. It's dead. It's horrible. You sold me a piece of crap. All right, let me look at it. The battery's dead. Of course the battery said it's not working. I charged it up like 3 days ago. Why is it still working? You need to charge it more than that, buddy. You need to have it plugged in. Oh, well, that's bullshit. It just, they don't, it's like, we quite literally had a guy come in who did that just like last week. Yeah, he pulled out this phone. I had it charged. It was working. It shouldn't be powered off. We take a look at it. Try and plug in a cord. Battery 0%. Dude, it's the battery's dead. It's not been charged. Well, it should have been. But the thing is, it's one thing to like, oh, I thought it was charged. Do I have to do it more often? Being an understandable type mindset. But no, that guy was just straight up unwilling to change his thought process. And that's where issues arise. But yeah, we quite literally had that guy, and he came in, I think twice. Once to drop off the phone for us to fix. All we did was plug it into the wall and let it charge to about 30%. It was like dead. And then just give it back to him. Okay, buddy, it seems everything's perfectly fine. You don't need a new battery. You just need to actually charge the bloody thing. Stuff like that. It's I don't know. We told him you need to keep it charged, buddy. Let's try and plug it in, and we do what we can. But you will always have those just idiots. There's no escaping idiots on the planet. You could quite literally prove the Earth is round, and people will still deny it, which is a thing right now. Flat earthers. Flat earthers are fascinating, honestly. There's empirical, proven evidence that the Earth is round. Photographic, mathematic, logistical, everything can prove that the Earth is round, but they still disbelieve it. And try and prove it themselves using odd logic. And there's even been a couple of cases where the flat earthers have actually proven the Earth round, and they're like, well, we tried to prove it was flat, but it didn't work. But we'll keep trying. Well, good on you. You've got a theory, you've got a hypothesis. Try and follow it through, but don't be willing to abandon that. Unwilling to abandon that for reasons. My favorite one, I saw a video. This guy talking about flat earthers. This guy, to prove the Earth was flat, took a level that he got off of the shelf at like Home Depot or something, and took it with him on a plane, set it on the tray, and proved that since it didn't move, the Earth was flat. He took a flight from like one place to another, and it's like, okay. bit of like flaws with that logic. One, it's a level, and you're trying to measure microscopic measurements with it. Two, you're flying in a plane on a curve. Or like how these people use cell phones and satellite internet to locate things, and it's just it's an interesting phenomenon. And for one thing, we can all laugh at people not realizing the Earth is round and whatnot, but honestly, one thing I can't deny is they are right in the fact that nobody is really, people don't really prove things for themselves. They're actually trying to prove it on their own terms, which is actually a commendable thing. However, it's a flawed concept to start with. But refusing the information just given to you and trying to prove it with simplistic measures, that is a fascinating and actually competent thought process. However, they just chose like the worst possible topic to do it on. that. But the problem is, you have to prove it. It's like one of the other things I've seen is sticky note. What's the word? I've seen also a lot of like diagrams that they use to explain some of this stuff, and if you dumb things down, it makes a twisted bit of sense. But like, here's the sun, and like here's the earth, and this is the diagram. And so they're saying that like a solar eclipse or whatever, like and like the moon, it can't be flat round, because look, you've got the sun, and it would just like I can't even like remember how it went. And like all the lights are parallel, right? So we should be able to see all of the stuff there. It should be there. Or like, I can't even remember how it went, but they had like diagrams that just looking at it, like you're missing a very obvious point right there. That's like the lines turn, the lines curve, the lines are straight. It's a figure of speech. They are basically parallel. And it's like, how do they explain the moon? I don't know. Well, the other one's just like all the planets. Oh yeah, like Mars, Venus, those are all round. Yeah, the sun is round. Yeah, totally. Earth is flat. Okay. But yeah, the moon is But oh yeah, one of the positives about the flat earthers, they do actually have positives. They are insanely creative. Like to the point, I've seen some tabletop Dungeons and Dragons people adopt some of the mindsets, the theories. Like, that would be an awesome world to like fantasy world to live in. Because one of them was you've got like this flat Earth disk here, okay, just a little flat Earth, and you've got a little ball of sun right here, and the sun warms up in an area on this flat disk. But this flat disk is on an impossibly large sphere, and there's a lot of other suns and earths in the area, and we can't quite figure it out. Like here, like this is the sun, and this is the earth. All the continents and stuff are on a flat disk, but it's all on a very big snow globe, basically, with little pockets of heat from the floating suns around it. And it was like, that's actually a pretty novel concept, honestly, but still flawed, but and effectively a globe concept again. Then there's the hollow earth theory, where you have you've got the sun here, and the earth is actually hollow, and everything is inverted. And so we've got the sun at the core of our earth, and then the earth, instead of walking on the outside like here, we're walking on the inside that way. They are so incredibly ingenuitive with how they are trying to do it. Oh, how can they did sell that? I need more yellow sticky notes. I got blue ones, but they don't show up on camera very well. Let's use index card. Give me a sec. They actually work out a fair amount of the logistics of it. I think the concept is you've got the Earth and the sun here. I think the sun is on a orbit in a circular fashion, and so it lights up only parts of the world as it goes. Like, we've got continent A here, America, Europe, Australia, whatever the hell. I'm not going to draw the countries for this example. But like, the sun would be over in this area, and it would shine on that half of the world. But then it would rotate over here to this area, and then light up this half of the world. And it would just be a rolling light show. And it's fascinating. They come up with very, again, just ingenuitive ideas for how things work. And to be fair, you need to be very flexible in your thinking for advanced science. Hell, like look at quantum physics right now. Okay, yeah, you can look at it and then look it away and look back, and it'll change, and that's normal. That's how it's supposed to work. It's not set in stone. And so it's in that regards, they do have the spirit of a scientist. They just don't have the logic of a scientist. One of the other ones being the famous fisheye lens, set there to curve the view of everything. So therefore, you can't trust anything from a camera because it's curving the picture, therefore altering the effects, which technically does hold true to an extent. But sorry, give me a sec. Focus on here a bit. And let's go with you, I guess. But it's just fascinating seeing, because they take fact A, fact B, fact C, put them together, create fact flat Earth. But they're ignoring fact E through Z to get to that point, which is the fault in their thing. I've also seen an example of why there's no why rockets or whatnot can't work, because I saw this video. I think it was from the same dude who was talking about flat earthers or something, and they were on the concept of there is no vacuum in space or something. The rockets can't work because they're not pushing off anything. That was it. In space, it's a vacuum. So a rocket shooting things to push off of has nothing to push off of. Therefore, they shouldn't be able to function. Plausible scenario. So what they did was they took a little they took a little car, okay, and they tied a balloon to it, okay. They filled it with air and strapped the balloon to the car, taped it, whatever, what have you, and then from this point, I should draw it over here. You know what? I'm gonna fix that because I draw my cars so ambiguously. It'll work. Nope, still can't do that. So, balloon over here. So they have the balloon, okay, and they set it over here and let it go. The car went forward. Okay, see, it worked. Okay, so they blew the balloon back up, set it back over there. But this time they pulled out a vacuum cleaner, okay, and put the funnel here. Here's a little shop vac or something. Okay, and they put it right at the exhaust of the balloon. Okay, and then they let it go, and the car didn't move. And see, it has nothing to push off of, therefore it can't go anywhere. The vacuum is non-existent. Okay, that's plausible, but you're altering not just the particles from the balloon, but the air around it, and you're introducing a vacuum that can pull it back. And so it was an interesting experiment or proof that they had, but at the same time they forgot to account for other attributes. And it's just fascinating to me. It's like, I laugh, most everyone else does, about the logistical fallacies of some of the stuff, but I just straight up have to commend them for their creativity in proving an illogical concept. And actually, if I do have to question, is there a mathematical possibility to have a flat Earth with the same conditions we have currently? Like, is it physically, mathematically possible to have a flat Earth, no matter how bizarre or unrealistic it is it mathematically possible to have a flat Earth with the same conditions we know it as here? Because one of the other experiments they had was a very simple one. You stand on point A, okay, a big old tower or something, okay, big old, let's go with Wizard's Tower here, okay, a big old Wizard's Tower, and you stand right up here on the top, and you have like a telescope or something, something that lets you see as far away as possible, right? And you look down and see if you can find the curvature of the Earth. Because, well, you could have a uniform gravity, and gravity is a different construct. It's just maybe a magnetic force, just out of my ass explanation. Magnetic force evenly distributed across the entire world at the same function. That would be a gravity equivalent, no? Just interesting thoughts. Anyway, the concept was you stand up on this high place and look as far away as you can and see at what point something will fall over the curve of the Earth. Because when you have the curve of the Earth, if you have like a little boat or something and it gets over here, you should no longer be able to see it. That line should pass right over the boat. But the problem is when they current modern ones have like video cameras or phones with like super telescopic lenses. They sit there and view and view and view and view and view, and they can actually see like islands way the hell over here. They can see the buildings on the islands. Like, if I can see those, that means the curvature isn't there. And I think they even did some math of like that island was like 20, 50 miles away, whatever. And if the curvature of the Earth is so and so angle and it should be this distance, that means that would put the curvature I'm here standing at this point and the island was here 50 miles away. The curvature is this, therefore that is below the line of sight that I should be able to see, correct? So it's below the line of sight. I've been able to see it, therefore this curve no longer exists. But they again don't account for the curvature of their own viewpoint being curved because they're looking through the Earth, the air, and the light is being refracted to them. But it's fascinating. It's silly, and I don't really condone the harassment of them. That doesn't help anybody. But it should be vying for mathematical, logistical proof of things. Alright, so that's actually should be up here, I think. A little higher on the hairline. Alright, so sorry, I'm jumping back from one thing to the other. But it's fascinating. It's neat looking into some of this stuff. And one of the other things is, again, I have to commend them for disbelieving the current norm. It's a few, but I think less so than you'd imagine. But yeah, it's not just blatantly accepting what you were told. Is I think the one of the videos I watched, I think it's this again, same guy. I think I went on a binge watching this guy for a day or so. They are not necessarily entirely about the Earth being flat. It's more about not believing just everything at face value and trying to question that, which I actually fully support. Do not take words from authority figures as such at face value, because they have the ability to lie to you incredibly easily. And so they're questioning that aspect by questioning the world. Why that topic of all things, I'll never know, but by questioning the ones who are out there, it raises the scientific desire to learn, to understand, to question how we view the world. Because hell, back in whenever it 1918, 17, whatever's, everyone thought the world was flat, that the sun revolved around the Earth, and that was that. And then we questioned that and found that the Earth was round, and that we actually revolve around the sun, and that's how we understand it now. And now we're questioning that again, and it's a fascinating kind of a little cycle that we're going through. And just watching it all unfold and play out. chose a really stupid thing to try and do for my first time doing this. Yeah, let's just draw this pose, but completely upside down with everything reversed, and go. Yeah, no, we'll figure it out. It looks like she's got bug. I wonder if there's a reference of her with actually her hair down like this that I can just pull up. 0 to super hard. Absolutely. Let's just go right into it, man. It's not too hard. We'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Her circlet, the thing on her forehead, that currently goes under her hair. Does that go under the baseline of it all? Does it go all the way around? This part right here, where does that actually go? Well, let's just fudge it. Let's see where we get to. And then no gem thingy in there. Okay. Okay, let's nose the other way. Yes. Yeah, gotta zoom in on that so I can actually see it a bit better. And I'll call that functionally done if I can get the eyes right. Give me a sec. Up here. Very, very big eyes. I think I might have these too skinny. This needs to be much more curved. There we are. To there and down. This part just a little bit more rounded. Like that. Focusing. And put here. And around. Eyes are very, very important. Very, very important. I like trying to give them the best quality I can, even though I'm not the best at them. I'm very far from the worst. It really is amazing how bad some pictures can be. Not that I'm harping on anybody doing bad, but there's some artists, like some drawings that people like, look at how awesome I am, but it's like, how the hell did you draw that? That's like worst of the worst deviant art tier. Is, you know exactly what I'm talking about if you've ever been there. Okay. I think the eyes are a little off. I think actually they're too big. The eyes are too big. Oh yeah, it is. It's just somebody thought it was a good idea to do that, whatever the hell that is. And the weirdest thing is like how it's all over. Oh, one of the messages today was Restream. Apparently we're a bit chatty today. Cool. I got a message. We did stuff. Alright. vertical eye. Hers are curved. Alright. I'll try and touch it up, but I think that'll be it for today. A functionally complete sketch of Sailor Moon in a hand. Ooh, yep. Let's look at it. Right side up. And I know you have some quality issues, but here we are. There we are. Minus the hair. Yeah, it's functionally complete. That I told you guys about that. Anyway, that'll be it. So, hey, this is what it looks like for you, for Americans up here, ain't it? Hello. Anyway, that'll be it for today. So, thank you for sitting around. I think I'll try and transfer this to the canvas, and then we'll start painting it, next time. Let's see where the hell we can get to on that one. Her head shaved. Well, I got it there. It's just really faint. Oh, maybe I forgot to erase the line that her bald head would have been. So there. Give me a sec. Is that better? Sailor Moon. Perfect picture quality. That's best picture ever. Go. Okay. Have a good day. Have a good day, guys. See you later. And the camera will be back to normal next